What's up, agents? Zero here. Welcome back to another Minecraft video. Today I'm going to show you guys a redstone machine that I put together just recently. This is a massive gambling machine based off of rock, paper, scissors. Now, as you can obviously tell, there is a lot of redstone mechanics going on here, so it is insanely complicated, but it actually works pretty nicely for what it's intended to do. And I actually need to give a shout out to a YouTuber by the name of Mumbo Jumbo. I have actually referenced him in a number of videos. He actually has basically made one of these before, quite a while ago actually, but all it literally was just simply for amusement, all things considered. So the way it ended up working was it actually used levers instead of buttons, and then it would actually choose which the computer would end up choosing to go against you. It's just basically a machine that's really not technically a computer, although some people will argue otherwise. However, in this particular instance, as I said, it uses buttons instead of levers. That's not the only thing. It will actually reward you for actually ending up beating the computer in the first place. So here's what I'm going to do. I've got some diamonds in my inventory, and I'm going to go ahead and throw one in here. So if I throw it in here. Alright, so the machine is now actually active at this point, so now I can go ahead and choose whatever I want. Now I want to go ahead and mention that this design is actually made specifically so that you are not actually able to throw in extra diamonds in order to hopefully get extra turns, because otherwise that would end up breaking the circuit and you would not end up getting to play. So literally, I think you guys probably guessed all you need to do in order to play this game. Just go ahead and choose either rock, paper, or scissors, and then the computer will actually do the exact same thing. However, the computer does not technically know what you chose. It just chooses something completely at random. So there is a chance that you can end up winning, there's a chance you can end up losing, and there's a chance that you can end up tying regardless of what you choose. So I'm going to go ahead and choose paper, and the computer... Whoa! I won straight away. Okay, so I chose paper and the computer chose rock, and I actually ended up winning, which is actually not too bad. So I'm going to do another couple of tries and hopefully show you guys the computer technically either tying or beating me, and in that technical case, well, the computer will not actually end up giving me any sort of reward. So I just ended up tying with the computer. I got paper, it got paper, and as you can tell, nothing inside of the prize box. And I want to go and show you guys, if I go ahead and grab, you know what, let's go ahead and grab a crafting table, just something random. And if we go ahead and throw this inside of here, the hopper will in fact take it, but as you may have noticed, it does not actually activate the circuit. It actually just stays inside of this hopper and never activates in the first place. So yeah, that is literally what this machine does. Now I want to reference Mumbo Jumbo a second time because I actually want to challenge him to go ahead and try to replicate this machine as best he can. Now there will be a world download link in the description if you guys want to go ahead and check this out, but I think Mumbo Jumbo should probably realize that I am actually on Bedrock Edition, and I am well aware that he is technically on Java Edition, so whatever he does, obviously the redstone mechanics are going to be somewhat different. Maybe he will be able to compact some of the stuff, I don't really know, but I figured I'd at least throw the challenge out there. He can still stay and watch if he wants to see how the actual redstone mechanics work, because I'm actually going to explain that in just a moment. But I wanted to challenge him to put this together without viewing that, if he wants to take on the challenge. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started and show off how this machine actually ends up working. So first off, this hopper is actually, well, not what activates the circuit, but this is obviously where you put your diamond to go ahead and get the machine started. Something I have not shown off just yet is that you are not actually able to play the game until you have actually paid to play. So as you can tell, I am choosing absolutely everything. And well, the game is not actually playing just, as you can obviously tell, the computer is not choosing anything whatsoever. So you actually have to pay in order to play, which actually makes sense. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into the redstone mechanics. So I said that hopper up there is not what activates it. It's actually technically this hopper right here. And I've got a little item sorter set up right here. As you can tell, it takes diamonds and it also takes sticks. But I actually renamed these particular sticks. Let me go ahead and show you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and throw a stick. And actually, let me go ahead and throw this back here. Just, not that's really going to matter. The hopper is locked. So let's go ahead and throw a regular stick in here. So I technically did rename these sticks, so it's not going to go through. But yeah, so it's set up to a couple of different things. First off, it's actually set up to an item sorter, as I already said. So this hopper has only one item inside of it, and this comparator right here is set to subtract mode. So basically, this comparator is saying this comparator is not allowed to activate and turn on unless its signal strength is higher than this one's. And that's exactly why the item sorter is set up the way it is, because when you get an extra diamond in there, it will in fact be strong enough, and that's going to do two things. First off, it's going to send a signal to this redstone dust, and then behind this particular block right here is a redstone repeater sent to this redstone torch, which is going to unpower and allow the extra diamond to go ahead and flow into the actual dropper itself, which obviously is what's collecting the prize. And it's also going to send a signal to this repeater, which is going to travel short distance all the way to this hopper dropper T flip-flop. So that's the first part of the circuit all completely done. So here's the next part of the circuit. So once this activates, it's going to activate both this blue circuit and this green circuit. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the green circuit first. It's like literally the simplest part of this entire mechanism. That's not really saying a whole heck of a lot, because I imagine some of you are kind of confused anyway. But yeah, this leads all the way to this repair right here, which basically locks this hopper and prevents any further payments from being made, because obviously if you paid a second time, you would break the circuit and, well, you wouldn't be able to play. So next up we have this blue circuit right here, and this is going to do a few different things. First off, it's going to end up activating this piston, which is going to allow this light blue circuit to be able to activate in the first place. More on that in just a little bit. And then it's also going to send a signal up this redstone torch tower, and this is also going to do a couple of things. First off, this is going to activate this hopper dropper monostable circuit, which is going to basically reset these, which are called RS NOR latches, which are kind of like T flip-flops, except they require an input from one particular side in order to switch, whereas a T flip-flop, it doesn't matter how many times you press it, it always switches back and forth. So like, for example, I could technically do this over and over if the locking circuit wasn't set up, and we just turn on and off RS NOR latches. I have to press it really. Not that you guys really care, you want to see the rest of the circuit. But yeah, so yeah, this hopper dropper unstable circuit basically resets the RS NOR latches, and then it's also going to end up powering this piston, which is going to push down these blocks and allow the top portion of the RS NOR latches to actually be detected by these comparators, which are obviously going to activate one of these three redstone lamps. Just basically turning it on to show you guys that you picked something specific, obviously. And then obviously when you go ahead and choose one of these three, it's going to unpower its respective redstone torch and then power that particular RS NOR latch, and it's going to end up activating. And then the rest of the light blue circuit is going to go back to the T flip-flop and turn it off. Obviously, you want to turn the machine off when you're done. And then it's also going to run its way all the way to this circuitry right here. And by the way, there's actually technically a texture bug in Minecraft as of right now regarding pistons. So you guys can go ahead and ignore this. It still functions normally. This is not under my control. But yeah, so it goes all the way to this here. So here's what's going to end up happening. First, this is going to end up activating this green circuit right here. So what's going to end up happening is that this piston is going to push, and there's actually a shulker box in here, which when you push it, it's going to end up breaking. It's going to fall into this hopper and back inside of this dispenser. As you can tell, I've got a couple other shulker boxes in here as well. And as soon as this piston unpowers, because obviously you're using a button, so it's going to unpower relatively shortly, it's going to pull back, and this observer is going to detect it. It's going to send a signal to this piece of redstone dust, power the dispenser, and allow the shulker box to be dispensed, which is going to allow this comparator to turn on. Now, that's not the only thing that this light blue circuit will activate. This light blue circuit will also activate this yellow circuit. So literally all this yellow circuit is, first off, it is a comparator pulse extender. So this is just basically going to allow this piston to be extended so that this block is in front of this comparator, which will end up giving an output through this red coder circuit, which I actually did a tutorial on red coder circuits yesterday. So if you guys want to check that video out, there will actually be a link in the description if you want to go ahead and look at it. But yeah, so that's just basically going to go into the red coder circuit, and that's going to output basically the decision that the computer is ending up choosing. And the reason why it's 100% random is because of the fact that a dispenser and a dropper, both, technically this one is a dispenser, but both dispensers and droppers will do the exact same thing. It will dispense one at random, so it's going to choose one of these three options at random. So then that's going to show you what the computer ended up choosing, and then it's going to end up going to one of these three circuits, the purple, pink, or magenta. Now these are actually connected to the player's choice as well. So let's take, for example, the scissors circuit for the computer. So as you can tell, the scissors circuit is actually connected to this magenta circuit, and it goes all the way to this redstone torch right here, but it also goes a bit further and it links to this magenta circuit right here, which is connected obviously to the rock player choice. So when the player chooses rock, it's going to connect to the scissors choice for the computer, and if they choose that particular set, then this redstone torch will end up turning on, and that's going to end up activating this hopper dropper monostable circuit. And the same thing applies with the pink and purple circuits with the other two winning options as well. I think you guys get the gist of it. I just wanted to at least showcase at least one so you guys get the idea. So once this hopper dropper monostable circuit actually ends up activating, it's going to send a signal down through this red circuit down here, and this red circuit is basically the winner's circuit. So if you actually end up winning, then you'll actually end up getting a prize. So what's going to happen, it's going to send a signal to this system. So I've got myself a locking repeater system, which is going to, first off, this is going to end up powering, which is going to allow this piston to fire, pushing these two observers into each other, which is basically going to create what is called a observer clock, which is actually a pretty firing clock. It's not nearly as fast as a comparator subtraction mode clock, but it's pretty fast. And this second repeater right here is just simply to lock it so it stays on for a little bit longer, nothing too fancy. And once these two observers are pushed together, then it's going to first off run this note block a couple of times, and also fire off the dispenser, or technically I think this is a dropper, a couple of times, basically putting your prize into the actual prize box itself. I realized there was a lot of explaining for what the circuit actually does, especially for how simple it is to use, but as you can obviously, as I already showed you guys, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on with this particular circuit, and I figured those of you who want to know exactly what each of the circuits ended up doing and how they work with each other, well, yeah, I figured that would be kind of nice to go ahead and show you guys. I know, as I said before, those of you who don't fully understand redstone probably have no idea what it is that I just said, and I realize I explained all of it in a short amount of time. And those of you who are familiar with redstone, mechanics and terms for those of you who are redstone engineers like myself. Obviously, you may have understood exactly what I'm saying, unless, again, I did say it pretty quickly, all things considered. But yeah, that is literally all there is. And as I said, there will be a link down in the description if you guys want to go ahead and play around with this machine for yourself. But other than that, that's actually where I'm going to go ahead and end off the video. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you did, make sure that like button. One more than make sure that subscribe button for future content. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at AgentCPU0 to stay updated. This has been Studios. Thank you guys for watching, and with that, I'll see you guys later.